Hello, beautiful people. It is Charlotte Stevens and the ancestors. Before we get started, hit the like and subscribe button. Like and subscribe, please. So on my channel, I talk about self-care, the spiritual laws of the universe, and how to build a work from anywhere coaching or consulting business. So I am the world's greatest business and empowerment coach for badass Black women. And I wanted to make a very quick video for educators. Educators have a space in my heart, will always have a place in my heart because I am an educator. So I have over 20 years of experience in education. I was a middle school and a high school history teacher. So most recently I taught AP Gov. That was fun. So I was an educator and I loved so much about being a teacher. I really love connecting with the kids. That's the part I miss the most, is connecting with the kids. And like a lot of you, I had a gift for it, right? I have a gift. Like, I can walk into any classroom and I can get those kids eating out of my hands because I know how to relate to them and I know how to respect them, and I can get them to learn things they don't want to learn. And right, I loved my relationship with the kids, but there was so much that I hated about teaching. And I hated that I had this really unique gift that society didn't value, didn't want to pay for, and that I worked in this profession that wouldn't evolve. And what I mean by that is I really hated that I had to be in a classroom from 8 to 3. Like, why can't we do this online? Or why isn't this more flexible? Like, and then you take work home with you, right? You're working on the weekends. This sense of responsibility and obligation you can feel to the students or feel to a broken system, especially as a Black woman, or especially as somebody who's fighting against white supremacy and the patriarch. A lot of times you're targeted. A lot of times you are, it's a shit show, right? Trying to really advocate for Black and brown kids. So I became an anti-racist consultant for schools. Some of the same work I was doing as a teacher, right? They didn't want to pay me for nothing for it. They didn't want to really acknowledge it. I took that same talent and I became an outside contractor. I started my business as a anti-racist consultant. My business is called Healing Racism in Schools. And in my first 10 months, I was able to grow my business to over 6 figures utilizing LinkedIn. Y'all need to update your LinkedIn. We could talk about that in another video, but DM me if you need help. But I utilized LinkedIn. I had over 6 figures in my first 10 months of my new business. Why is that amazing? Because prior to that, I was contemplating living in my car in order to make ends meet, because it's very hard to live in California on a teacher's salary. And I've got 3 degrees, right? I got 3 college degrees. Don't matter. Nobody gives a shit. I still wasn't going to make enough as a teacher living in Cali on a teacher's salary. In addition to that, my mental and physical health were really suffering, especially my mental health. I didn't realize at the time that I was living with bipolar depression, but I was. And if I had continued on the trajectory of neglecting myself for the sake of my students and trying to do all this extra work in order to make ends meet, I would have succumbed to my bipolar depression. I would have ended up dying from my depression, and I would have ended my life. And I know this, and I know that's grim, but I say that because I'm tired of Black women self-sacrificing or feeling exploited to the point of contracting stress-related diseases, fibroids, breast cancer, ovarian cyst, heart disease, diabetes, mental health issues, schizophrenia, bipolar, depression, anxiety, etc., obesity. We are in crisis. Black women are in crisis, and especially Black women who are caregivers. So Black women who are teachers, who are nurses, who are already in professions that condition them to be self-sacrificing. It just makes it worse for us. So educators, here's what I want you to know, is that the same skills that you have that allow you to manage your classroom, to schedule out your curriculum, to create curriculum, to deal with the social emotional needs of your students, you could take those same skills, and not even half the time that you're spending on your job, I'd say a third of the time that you spend being a teacher, and you can create your coaching or consulting business, your very successful coaching or consulting business. And this is something that I can teach you how to do over the course of like May, June, July. By the time you get back in August, you'll have your business up and running. Why do you want this? So many reasons, y'all. The best way to have a job is not to need one. Let me say it again. Same way, the best way to have a relationship, or best way to have a man, best way to have a partner is not to need one. You don't want to be in a position where you need that job, and especially as a Black woman or anybody who's fighting against the white supremacist patriarch. because you'll feel compromised, meaning that you'll see your job doing something that's out of integrity with your values, and you will turn a blind eye to it because you don't want to deal with the financial ramifications of speaking up, of advocating. And if you're going to advocate for Black and brown kids, your job is going to be threatened. Like, that's just the reality. I'm so sorry to crush your little hopes and dreams. They're not going to give you an award, or otherwise I would have gotten several. They're going to target you, and it's a shitty feeling. It's a shitty feeling when you're worried about being fired. And this is what I tell people: there's no job security for Black women. Like, when people talk about, I don't want to start my own business, I'm scared. Like, you need to be scared if you don't start your own business, because there's no job security for Black women, especially if you're going to be a proud Black woman and advocate for Black people. Like, good luck. So what I'm saying is this, is that, instead of Uber driving, instead of doordashing, instead of tutoring, instead of doing all these low paying side hustles that just take up more of your time and really don't make enough for it to matter, you could start a coaching or consulting business, and you could be selling 5-figure, 6-figure, even 7-figure services or packages, right? Depending on who your client is. So when I was an anti-racist consultant, and I pivoted from being an educator to an anti-racist consultant, like I said, I made 6 figures in 10 months. I had over $300,000 in new contracts in my first year. Yes, I utilize LinkedIn, but what I'm saying to you as educators is, because you're an educator, you're connected to the school system, which means you already have relationships. There's already people who would get on the phone with you if you had some type of service to sell to schools. And if you have an online business, you're not limited to your demographics. You can get contracts anywhere. And if you got a whole district to get online with to buy your service or your program or your consulting package, think of how much money that could be for you potentially. Now, what I teach you is how to do this peacefully, because it's not all just about making a ton of money. It's about how you make that money, meaning that, well, Silicon Valley is a perfect example. There's a lot of people out here making great money who are miserable and who work around the clock and who are stressed the hell out and who are not living a life of peaceful profits. And what I teach is how to center yourself first, how to give from your overflow. So even when I had my anti-racist consulting business, I still started as late as possible. Like, my earliest appointment would be 10 o'clock. And really, I really preferred my appointments to be 11 and later, because that's what worked best for me. That assures that I get all the sleep I need as someone who lives with bipolar, depression. So I help Black women get back in touch with, what do you need to thrive? What does it take for you to be at your best? And we make sure that that's in place first. And then we build the business around that, which for a lot of Black women, I know you can't even get your mind around that, because you're so used to having to build your life around whatever time was left after you served your job. And as a teacher, that's very little time. As a result of me doing this for myself, my mental health is so much better. I used to get suicidal about 4 times a year. That's a lot, y'all. About 4 times a year. I did get depressed for a couple days, like in March, but the difference is like, it used to be weeks, like 6 weeks, and now it's like 1 or 2 days. And for the past year and 4 months, I've been doing pretty darn well. I'm the healthiest version of myself I've ever been. I lost 40 pounds. I exercise daily. I meditate daily. I'm the healthiest I've ever been. And I'm managing my mental health really well because I have all this time. I have all the time every day to make sure that I am great. So I'm not frustrated and irritated and hangry and sleep deprived and bitchy and irritable, on a day-to-day basis. But that's how I was as an educator. I was good with my students, but I was pretty much a mess otherwise. So I want educators to know you have so many options. The sky's the limit as far as what you want to do. It's really just a matter of deciding, which one to engage in, which you want your niche to be, and I can help you with that. And then creating a coaching and consulting package around what you're passionate about. And it doesn't even have to be an education, but I talk about it being an education because then you're able to get contracts with schools, and that can be some really, really great money. So what you want to do is DM me or schedule a call. My calls aren't cheap. They used to be free, but people don't pay attention to what's free, unfortunately. Then they were $25. They're now $99. And I know you might be like, clutch my pearls, Charlotte. I'm an educator. I ain't got that type of money. But one of the things I want you to do is invest in yourself. If you can spend $99 getting your nails done, you can spend $99, trying to learn how to start a coaching or consulting business. This phone call could change your life. It's changed the lives of many of my clients. I'll tell you some stories. So one of my clients is on track to make $250,000 1 year. She currently is at $193 since we've been coaching together for 9 months. Okay, so we've been coaching together 9 months. She's on track to make $250,000. She's doing that peacefully. She's working from home with clients she likes. She's chilling. She's only working 25 hours a week. She's enjoying herself, right? She has freedom. She has time to hang out with her sister and her niece. Like, she's living her best life. 3 of my other clients all got together, started a business together after meeting in my small group coaching program. One of those clients moved across country, left a toxic relationship, is on her way to making more money than she ever has. Another one of my clients, her books have been released on Amazon, which is a dream of hers. I mean, another one of my clients was able to retire her mother because she was able to start making enough money to get her mother to stop working. I mean, there have been so many results. So is it worth $99? Yes. Hell yes, it's worth $99 because we need to break the shackles off of your minds, because a lot of you are limited to what you think is possible based on based on your experience. I've only been paid $600, $6,000 a month, so that's all I can imagine. And there are people out here, I know a woman who, for one 3-hour training, $100,000, y'all. $100,000. You need to start being around that type of information so it will normalize that for you. And the more that you're on the plantation around other people who don't make no money, or around other people who are working 60 hours a week but only making, barely any money, is you start to think that that's the way it is. And what's great about being an entrepreneur is there is no limit. Ain't no limit as far as what you can make and what you can create, but the limitations you put on yourself. So schedule a call. Follow me on Eventbrite. I do classes on Eventbrite all the time. They're very affordable. They're like usually under $50. You can find me on Facebook, Divine Black Business Goddess. You can join my Facebook group. I'm also on YouTube. I also have a podcast. It's called Charlotte's Badass Podcast. It's on Anchor. It's also on Apple Podcasts. All of that will be in my link tree, which will be in the notes. But again, educators, imagine that by the time you're going to your week-long professional development summer program thing, that you already have clients for your coaching or consulting business, and you are not worried about this teaching job. In fact, you're thinking, if it ain't looking the way I want it to look by December, maybe I'm out, right? Like, to have those options of, I'm here by choice, and to be able to tell your job, like, you need me more than I need you. So don't get it twisted. And if I get a day off or whatever the hell I need, you might want to give that to me, because at any point I can walk. I don't need to be here. I'm here because I choose to be, not because I have to be. That is a position of power. And every Black woman needs to be in that position of power, because there is no job security for us, especially if you're advocating for Black and brown kids. There ain't no job security for you. So you have to create it for yourself. I would love to help you create your path to peaceful profits. DM me, schedule a call. I don't care who you got to borrow $99 from. It's worth it. It is partially refundable if you feel like you don't get what you need from it, but nobody's ever asked for a refund. People's minds are blown, and then they're like, oh my God, how can we do this? So find $99, book a call with me, and let's talk about what's possible for you. And again, just imagine where you could be by next fall. You have no idea what you're capable of. And when you work with me, you'll be in the support of other Black women. So for those of you who are scared that I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't believe enough in myself. Like, Charlotte, I'm sure you're awesome, but I don't think I can do it. When you're with a group, a community of people who support you, your sisters that you see week after week after week, it becomes easy. You'll look forward to class. You'll want to show up. You'll be inspired by your sisters. You'll be encouraged. You'll be held accountable. You'll be all of that. And you won't help but grow, because it's all about who you hang out with. So if you're hanging out with people who have this abundant mentality telling you that there's no limits to what's possible for you, you're going to grow. You're going to fly. You can't help but grow and fly. So it's just a wonderful experience to be in community together with other Black women entrepreneurs who are also going after their dreams. And what we can do together is insane. So I look forward to talking to you on a phone call, seeing you in my next video, seeing you in my Eventbrite class. Again, follow me on Eventbrite, Charlotte Stevens and the Ancestors. Join my Facebook group, Divine Black Business Goddess. All of this will be in my in the notes and on my link tree. So click link tree, join all the things, and know that there's no limits for you. There are no limits for you, and I'm tired of Black women martyrs. No more Black women martyrs. So call me. Let's see what we can create. Again, this is Charlotte Stevens and the Ancestors, the world's greatest business and empowerment coach for badass Black women. Please like and subscribe and share with the homies. Bye.